In this movie, I'll show you how to scale and rotate a layer inside Photoshop, namely this new Wing 2 layer. Because in as much as I have this restored wing right here, I need to move it into this location. So the first thing I'll do is make sure the Wing 2 layer is selected here inside the Layers panel. And then anytime you want to scale and rotate a layer inside Photoshop, you go up to the Edit menu, and as opposed to dropping down to Transform and then choosing a specific kind of transformation like scale or rotate or what have you, you just want to choose Free Transform. It's the better way to go. It allows you to do everything, and it has a keyboard shortcut of Control-T for Transform. That's Command-T on the Mac. And now notice that you've got this transformation boundary right here, surrounded by 8 handles, 4 in the corner, then 1 each on the left and right sides, and 1 each at the top and the bottom. If you drag any of these handles, then you are going to scale your bird like so, as you see me doing here. You can drag inside the boundary to move it, by the way. If you want to constrain the proportions, then go ahead and press the Shift key as you drag a handle. And so now that the bird is tall and skinny, it's going to remain tall and skinny like so. I don't want to scale this bird, though. I want to rotate it, and to rotate, what you do is you move your cursor outside the transformation boundary. So it works a lot like the crop boundary that we saw in the previous chapter, and then you go ahead and drag like so. However, this is not what I want. And when you're working in the free transform mode, you just have one level of undo. So if you press Control-Z or Command-Z on the Mac, you're going to undo that rotation in my case. If I press Control or Command-Z again, I'm going to redo the rotation. What I really want is to abandon everything. Just get back to the way the bird was in the first place. And to do that, you either click on this little universal no icon up here in the options bar, or you just press the Escape key. And that'll get you back to where you started. Because you have to be very careful when you're working with Free Transform. The reason being, scaling and rotating are destructive modifications that require Photoshop to rewrite every single pixel on the layer. So anyway, what I'm going to do is go back to the Edit menu and once again choose Free Transform, or press Control-T or Command-T on the Mac. And then I'm just going to drag outside that transform boundary until I see an angle value of roughly 118 degrees. And as you can see, I've got it. It's actually negative 118 degrees. It's rounded off, though, because you can see up here in the options bar, it actually was 117 and something just a moment ago before I dragged slightly farther. But I want exactly 118 degrees. That way you and I can get the same results. So again, negative. I keep saying 118. It's negative 118 degrees. And now I'm going to go ahead and drag the bird over to the left here and possibly down or up a little bit as well. I'm trying to get it to a very specific location. And given that I've worked on this project before, I happen to know a couple of coordinate values that I want to use. And so I can just go ahead and enter those values up here in the options bar. So I'm going to change this X value to 583 pixels, and then I'll tab to the Y value. So you just press the tab key to move over to the next value in the options bar, and I'm going to change it to 644. I was almost there, but it's better if I'm exactly there like so. And then I'll go ahead and accept that value by pressing the Enter key or the Return key on the Mac. And now to apply your transformation, assuming you've got everything exactly the way you want it, because again, this is a destructive edit, then go ahead and click on the check mark up here in the options bar, or you can just press the Enter key here on the PC or the Return key on the Mac. All right, now I just really want to keep this section of the wing right here. So I'm going to surround it with my rectangular marquee tool. Just going to go ahead and surround that portion of the wing, nothing more. Notice I'm keeping the right edge of my selection inside this black area of the big wing. And now I want to mask this layer. And you do that by dropping down to this icon down here at the bottom of the Layers panel, the one that reads Add Layer Mask, right next door to the FX icon. And then you just click on it, and that converts that selection to a layer mask like so. And as you can see here, as represented by this layer mask thumbnail here inside the Layers panel, the portion of the image that was selected now appears white, which reveals that area of the layer, and everything outside the selection is black, which conceals. So black hides the layer and white shows it. Or if you prefer that little mnemonic, white reveals and black conceals. Although I have to admit, it's easy to mix that one up because Nothing about white says reveal, and nothing about black necessarily says conceal, but that is the way it works. And as a result, we're just seeing this little portion of the wing that was formerly contained inside the selection outline. And that is how you use the free transform command under the edit menu to scale, rotate, and move a layer, as well as turn a selection outline into a layer mask, which temporarily hides portions of a layer here inside Photoshop.